Today, we will be dealing with expressions with rational exponents. An example of expression with rational exponent is x raised to 1/2, wherein this is the base and this is the rational exponent. Another example is 27 raised to 1/3. So these are examples of expressions with rational exponents. And in this topic, we will apply the laws of exponents to evaluate or simplify expressions involving rational exponents. Let us begin. Let's start off with these expressions. Here, we will try to simplify or evaluate each expression by applying the laws of exponents. And there are lots of ways to simplify expressions with rational exponents, but I'll teach you the easiest one. Let's have letter A. We have 1,000 raised to 1/3. By the way, when we say evaluate, it means that after manipulating the given expression, the value is defined. What I mean is, there is a specific value, wherein the result is a number, okay? So consider this expression 1,000 raised to 1/3. The very first thing to do is to express the base as exponential expression, which is equal to the original number. When we say exponential expression, it has the base and its exponent, okay? So you are to think of an exponential expression that is equal to 1,000. So 1,000 can also be written as 10 raised to 3 because 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. Okay, this is now the base and this is the exponent. Then put it inside the parentheses, then copy the exponent. Next thing to do is to simplify the resulting expression by applying the laws of exponents. So in this case, you may apply the second law of exponents, wherein you're going to multiply this exponent by the exponent outside the parentheses. So we copy 10, then multiply 3 by 1/3. So we all know that the denominator of this is 1. Numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So 3 times 1 we get 3 over 1 times 3 is also 3. Simple enough. Then simplify the exponent if possible. So 3 divided by 3 we get 1. And 10 raised to 1 is simply 10. So this is now the answer in letter A. Let's have letter B. 121 raised to negative 1/2. So this is somewhat different from the previous one since the exponent here is negative. So again, first thing to do is to try to express the base as an exponential expression. So 121 can also be expressed as 11 raised to 2. Then put it inside the parentheses, then copy the exponent. Next step is to multiply the exponent of this by the exponent outside the parentheses. Copy the base. Again, the denominator of this is 1. Numerator times numerator, 2 times negative 1, we get negative 2 over denominator times denominator, 1 times 2, we get 2. Then simplify the exponent whenever possible. Negative 2 divided by 2, we get negative 1. And if you can still recall, in our previous discussion, I told you that there should not have a negative exponent. An expression is not yet in its simplest form if there is a negative exponent, just like in this case. So the exponent here is -1. We still have to manipulate this to make this exponent positive. And that is by getting the reciprocal of this expression. Getting the reciprocal of this expression, we get, take note that the denominator of this is 1. So its reciprocal is 1/11 raised to, it will now become +1. But if the exponent is 1, there's no need for us to write it in the expression. So therefore, 121 raised to -1/2 is equal to 1/11. So that's it for letter B. Let's have now letter C. 8 raised to 1/2 times 32 raised to 1/2. Okay, first step, express the base as an exponential expression. 8 can also be written as 2 raised to 3 because 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. That's the original base. Then put 8 inside the parentheses, then copy the exponent. 32 can also be expressed as 2 raised to 5 because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 32. Put it inside the parentheses, then copy the exponent. Next is to multiply this exponent by the exponent outside the parentheses. Same with this one. Copy the base first. 3 times 1/2, we get 3/2. Put it again inside the parentheses. Next, copy 2. 5 times 1/2 is 5/2. Now, if you can still recall the laws of exponents, you can apply here the first law, wherein since they have the same base, what do we do with the exponents? We add them. So copy the base, then add 3 halves and 5 halves. So 3/2 plus 5/2. And as you can see here, they are similar fractions. When we say similar fractions, they have the same denominator. So if that is the case, just copy the denominator and add the exponents. 3 plus 5 is 8. Therefore, the result is 4. So we now put here 4. Can we still simplify this? Yes. 2 raised to 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 16. So this is now the answer in letter C. Let's have letter D. So 79 can also be expressed as 3 raised to 6 because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 729. While 64 can also be expressed as 2 raised to 6 because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 64. Then copy the exponent, 2/3. Then you may apply here the fifth law of exponents. Distribute the exponent 2/3 to both the numerator and the denominator. So we have 3 raised to 6 times 2/3. 6 times 2 is 12 over the denominator of this is 1. So 1 times 3 is 3. Therefore, the result is 4. So we write here 4. Next, 2 raised to 6 raised to 2/3. So multiply 6 by 2/3. Same with this one. So it's 4. So 2 raised to 4. And you can still simplify this. 3 raised to 4 is 81. Over 2 raised to 4 is 16. Can we still simplify this? Does 81 over 16 still have its lowest term? None. So this is now the answer. So 729 over 64 raised to 2/3 is equal to 81 over 16. Let us now try this time expressions with variables. So here we are asked to simplify these exponential expressions involving variables. So letter A, asterisk means to multiply the expressions, okay? As well as simple dot. In this case, you may apply the first law of exponents. Since they have the same base, so we simply add the exponents. Copy the base, then add 4/3 and 2/3. So again, they are similar fractions. Simply add the numerators, which is 6, then copy the denominator. Then simplify, it's 2. So we have x squared. So as simple as that. Letter B, A raised to 1/4, B raised to 3/2, raised to 1/2. So how are we going to simplify this? You may apply here the third law of exponent, wherein you have to distribute this outside exponent to each of this. So copy A, 1/4 times 1/2, we get 1 over 8. So we write here 1 over 8. Next, 3/2 raised to 1/2. 3/2 times 1/2, it's 3 over 4. So we write here 3 over 4. Baka ang iba malito sa inyo na sabihin na, ma'am, similar fractions po ito. Pareha sila ng denominator. Magkaiba yung addition and multiplication. Kasi the operation here is multiplication. So we simply multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. Okay? Looking at the resulting expression, meron pa bang isi-simplify ito? Wala na. So this is now the answer. Okay, how about this? 3n raised to 1/4 times 2n raised to negative 1/4. As you can see here, there are constants, 3 and 2. So since the operation between these two expressions is multiplication, we simply multiply them. So 3 times 2 is 6. How about n raised to 1/4 times n raised to negative 1/4? You may apply here the first law of exponent since they have the same base. So copy n, then simply add the exponents. 1/4 plus negative 1/4. The result is 0. You may verify it using your scientific calculator. So if n is raised to 0, what's the value of this? Any number or variable, when raised to 0, what's the result? It's always 1. So 6 times 1 is simply 6. So the answer in letter C is 6. Let us now move on to our last 3 examples. Again, these are expressions with rational exponents involving variables. So, paano kaya natin isi-simplify itong mga expressions na ito? Take note that as a general rule, expressions should not be left unsimplified. Paano natin masasabi na, ay itong expression na to ay hindi pa ito yung simplest form niya? An expression is said to be simplified or in its simplest form if it contains no negative exponents, no complex fraction, or no fractional exponents in denominator. Again, masasabi natin na ang isang expression ay nasa simplest form na kung wala ng negative na exponents, kung wala ng complex fractions, or yung masyadong maraming fractions, and kung walang fractional exponents sa denominator. So, wala dapat exponent sa denominator na fraction. Okay, take note of this. So, let's have letter D. If you can notice, they have different bases. Magkaiba yung base nila. So, hindi naman natin sila pwedeng i-combine to simplify. What we need to do is to eliminate the negative exponents. Also, they should not have fractional exponents in the denominator. So, what do you think is the first thing to do here? Again, dapat wala tong fractional exponents sa denominator and wala ring negative na exponents. So, to do that, we can simply get the reciprocal of this expression. Remember that if the exponent is negative, you may simply get the reciprocal of that expression to make the exponent positive. Okay? So the numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. So we have now D raised to 1/3 over C raised to 2. Since kinuha na natin yung reciprocal niya, naging ng positive yung exponents. Meron pa bang problema dito sa expression na to? How do you think this is now the simplest form of this expression? Yes, kasi wala ng negative exponents. Wala na rin fractional exponents sa denominator. So this is now the simplified form. Let's have letter E, 1 over x raised to 1/3. So how are we going to simplify this expression? As you can see here, there is a fractional exponent in the denominator. And sabi nga natin, bawal yun. So we have to get rid of this fractional exponent in the denominator. So how are we going to do that? Can we get the reciprocal of this just to get rid of this fractional exponent in the denominator? Let's try. The reciprocal of 1 over x raised to 1/3 is x raised to negative 1/3 over 1, or simply x raised to negative 1/3. Yes, we were able to get rid of the fractional exponent in the denominator, but remember that there should not have negative exponent in an expression for us to consider it as the simplest form of an expression. So, bawal yung negative na exponent. So, paano natin gagawing positive yung exponent? Kukunin ba natin yung reciprocal? Babalik lang yan sa original expression. So, pabalik-balik lang. There's another way to simplify this. So, ano kayang gagawin natin? So, listen to this. You have to think of a fraction that when added to that fractional exponent in the denominator of the given expression, the result would be 1. So, mag-iisip kayo ng fraction na pag inad nyo sa fractional exponent ng denominator ng given expression, ang resulta ay 1. I'll give you a clue. The denominator of this fraction is always equal to the denominator of that fractional exponent, wherein in this case, it's 3. So we put here 3. How about the numerator? I'll give you again a clue. You're going to think of a number here that when added to the numerator of that fractional exponent, the result would be equal to the denominator of that fractional exponent. So in this case, the denominator of this fractional exponent is 3. So ilan yung kulang sa 1? It's 2. Let's verify. Is 2/3 plus 1/3 equal to 1? Yes, because 2 plus 1 is 3. And these are similar fractions, so we simply copy the denominator. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. So ito yung kailangan natin, 2 over 3. And where are we going to put this exponent? We have to put here times, copy the base, x, then put 2/3 here. Kung ano yung nilagay sa denominator, yun din yung ilalagay sa numerator dito. So we also have here x raised to 2 over 3. So let us now proceed. Multiply these two expressions. Numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So we have 1 times x raised to 2/3 is simply x raised to 2 over 3 or 2/3 over denominator times denominator, we have x raised to 1/3 times x raised to 2/3. Observe the expressions. You may apply here the first law since they have the same base. So copy the base, then add the exponents. 1/3 plus 2/3 is equal to 3 over 3 or simply x. So we were able to get rid of the fractional exponent in the denominator of this expression. Do you think this is now the simplest form of this expression? Yes, it is. Now, some of you might say that this is not yet the final answer. Ma'am, di ba we can still apply the fourth law of exponent, wherein since the bases here are equal, we can subtract the exponents here. Because that's the fourth law of exponents. So let's try. So the exponent of this is 1. If we're going to apply the fourth law of exponents, copy the base and subtract the exponents. 2 over 3 minus 1 or 1 minus 2 over 3 is equal to 1/3. So mauulit lang yung nangyaring computation. That is why this is now the simplest form. Let's have the last one. So look at the given expression. As you can see, there are negative exponents. So we have to get rid of these negative exponents. To do that, we can simply get the reciprocal of this expression just to make the exponents positive. So it's n raised to 1 over m raised to positive 1/2. Since the exponent here is 1, there's no need for us to write 1 in its exponent. But the resulting expression has a fractional exponent in the denominator. So it means that this is not yet its simplest form. So halos parehas lang siya nung letter E. We have to get rid of this fractional exponent in the denominator. So get the fractional exponent, which is 1/2. Then think of a fraction when added to that fractional exponent, it would result to 1. So binigay ko pa lang yung clue kanina, pareha sila ng denominator dapat. And then, yung value ng numerator dito ay dapat mag-iisip kayo ng value na pag inad nyo sa numerator ng fractional exponent na yan, ang result ay yung denominator ng fractional exponent. So it's 1. Because 1 plus 1 is 2 over, again, they are similar fractions, so just copy the denominator, so it's equal to 1. Ito na yung hinahanap natin. So this time, copy the base in the denominator, then put the obtained fractional exponent, which is 1/2. And kung ano yung nasa denominator, parehas din sa numerator. Then numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. N times m raised to 1/2 Wala namang magkaparehas na variables dito, kaya we simply put n m raised to 1/2. Okay? All over m raised to 1/2 times m raised to 1/2. You may apply here the first law of exponents. They have the same base. So copy m, then just add the exponents. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. Or simply write m. Do you think this is now the final answer? Is this now the simplest form? Yes, it is. Do we still need to subtract the exponents 1/2 and 1? No, because if you're going to do that, it will result to this expression. So, babalik na naman kayo. So, yes, this is now the simplest form. So, that's all for this lesson video. I hope I made this topic a piece of cake for you. Thank you for listening.